I've done lots of videos over the years dealing with 8-ball break strategies and techniques. I also have many videos dealing with strategy for all games, including 8-ball. And I also have good resources and videos dealing with cue ball control and pattern play principles. All of these free resources are available via the links below in the video description or pinned comment. In this video, I show breaks, runouts, and interesting shots from 3 of my recent 8-ball practice sessions on a 9-foot table and 2 different 7-foot bar boxes. The shots are good examples of many important and useful strategies and techniques for playing winning 8-ball. My first practice session was on a 9-foot table where a square hit from close to table center is a good break strategy. The main goal is to pocket one or both of the second row balls, and this approach works on all table sizes. Here's a good example where both balls are heading toward the sides. One gets kissed, but the other goes. You can beat the kiss with a different cue ball angle into the rack. You can also try breaking from the other side of the table to see if you get better results. On this table, there isn't much difference. You can change the directions the second row balls head by adding top or backspin to the cue ball. Topspin makes them go more forward, and backspin makes them pull back more. For example, if the balls are heading below the side pockets on your table, you would add backspin to make them go higher. On this table, that sends the balls above the side pockets. You can also prevent kisses by changing the angle of the hit. Here, hitting the one ball slightly to my right of square allows both second row balls to go. You need to vary the cue ball position, squareness of the hit, and top or bottom spin to find what works best on a given table. On a 7-foot bar box, a second ball break can be a better option, especially if you play in an APA league or under bar rules, where making the 8 on the break is a win. The main purpose of the second ball break is to pocket the opposite corner ball. It goes reliably with a good rack and good hit. Sorry for the lack of audio with the bar box shots. I was in pool halls with copyrighted music playing and lots of drunken chatter in the background. Sometimes other balls go in with the second ball break. I made 3 balls on this one, 4 balls on this one, and 4 and almost more on this one. The second ball break also makes the 8 move, often toward the opposite side pocket like these examples from a previous video. The direction the 8 heads depends on how the balls are racking. During my recent practice session, the 8 was heading toward the near upper corner fairly consistently. Just like with any break technique, even with a decent rack and a good hit, sometimes no balls go. Before looking at runouts, let's look at some examples of interesting shots and strategies from my recent practice sessions that illustrate important concepts and approaches. It is helpful to identify and address problem balls early. Here, the 3 has limited options due to the 10, but the 5 lets me get good shape for the 3 into the side. If I pocket the 5 in the center of the pocket, the cue ball will drift off the desired line for the 3 ball in the side, so I decide to cheat the pocket. Targeting my right side of the pocket lets me hold the cue ball perfectly. This lets me then tackle the 2-4-6 grouping of balls. It is good to divide and conquer the table into ball groupings like this to help minimize cue ball motion up and down the table. I purposely left an angle on the 6 so I could easily stun to head up table to finish with the 1-7-8 ball grouping. Pool can be easy if you make good choices. Here's a good example where it is very helpful to address a problem ball early. The 13 is the only problem for stripes, but if I stun off the 15 in the side, I can get short side shape for the 13 in the opposite side. One good position play like this can make the rest of the run easy. Here is another good example of solving problems early. The 8 blocks the 12, so I decide to move the 8 on the starting 9-ball shot. I then tap the 13 into the side. And now I can pocket the 14 and carom off the 2 for shape on the 10. I wanted the cue ball higher up so I could bump into the 7 for an easy shot on the 15. Instead, I decide to use side spin to play for short side shape under the 15 to pocket it in the upper corner. As with any side spin shot, I use the System for Aiming with Side Spin, or SAWS, to get an accurate line of aim that compensates for cue ball deflection. See the link below for more info and detailed demos. A good shot like this can be a game winner. However, I focus a little too much on getting shape for the 12 next that I unfortunately miss the 15. Lesson learned. Here's a good example of playing for a favorable area and coming into the line of a shot. It is best to pocket the 14 right away since the ball grouping at the bottom of the table is easy to navigate without too much cue ball motion. By going off 2 rails, I can come right into the line of the 13, so I'm guaranteed to have a shot at the 13 over a wide range of speeds. I also chose to target the center of the table, where I would have a shot at any of the remaining stripes to have the most options. I can run out from here starting with the 9, 11, or 13. I chose the 11. As we have seen, it is often best to come into the line of the next shot. For example, if the 5 were not there, I would use outside draw off 2 rails to come into the line of the 12. That would give me the most room for error with shot speed. I could come up well short or go well long and still have an easy shot. Here, I had no choice but to go forward and come across the line of the 12. Because of this, I needed to be precise with my speed. If I had come up short or a little long, I would have had a much tougher shot next. Sometimes it helps to be able to predict cue ball direction accurately. Here, I could stun off the 3 and leave a long shot at the 8, but stun creates the most throw, making aiming a long angled shot like this a little sketchy. Instead, I decide to just roll the cue ball. My trusty 30-degree rule peace sign, linked below, gives me confidence the cue ball will hit the left side of the 10, leaving me perfect for the 8 in the side. Often in 8-ball, we need to break out clusters and bump balls to be able to run out. Here, shooting solids, the 7 is in trouble with the 9 and 14 blocking pockets. But if I stun off the 4, the tangent line heads in the perfect direction to move the 7. The 2, 3, and 5 were excellent insurance balls, giving me a good chance for a shot after the breakout regardless of the exact hit I got on the 7 or 14. Here, shooting solids, the 2 would be a good key ball to get on the 8 in the side at the end of the run, but the 14 blocks the pocket. But I can nudge the 14 away while pocketing the 4 to give myself the option on the 8 later. Little bumps like that can help you win games. Here, rolling forward with left side spin gives me a path into the 5 to open up a shot on the 9. Again, with any side spin shot, I use SAWS to get an accurate line of aim. The 11 and 13 are good insurance balls for after the bump. Sometimes a safety is the right play. Here, my opponent, shooting stripes, is in big trouble with all his balls tied up. However, he can carom off to 15 to pocket my 3 and use right spin to lock me up behind his other stripes. That was a nice shot. It freed up 2 of his balls and left me snookered. Here, I'm using the equal distance kicking system linked below to aim to attempt to pocket the 6 in the side, favoring the top part of the ball so if I miss, I might leave my opponent snookered up table, maybe behind the 1 or 6.
Well, I got lucky on that.
Sometimes we get lucky, but sometimes we don't. Here, I thought I had the out if I could cut this 14 in, since I should have an easy follow-up shot on the 11 or 13. Well, the pool gods don't always cooperate. I'm frozen to the 7 and don't have an open shot. I should be able to kick in the 13, but I miss it. But this time, I did get a roll.
Well, I got lucky on that.
My opponent doesn't have a shot from here. Now let's look at some of the break and runs from my recent practice sessions, starting with the 9-foot table. I use a little too much backspin on this break and don't pocket either second row ball, but another ball luckily goes in. Here, I'm attempting a precision draw shot to leave a slight angle on the 1 to bump the 8 a little since it currently goes only in one pocket. I overhit it just a tad, but there is a good plan B here. I could bump the 8 into the open, but I didn't want to risk getting stuck behind the 10, so I decided to just play shape for the 8 in the side. In general, it is best to not bump balls if you don't need to. Here, I hit the break well, and the ball spread nicely. I wanted to leave an angle on the 15 to get on the 9 next, but I leave it a little straight. I decide to punch it forward to go between the 5 and 9. Even if it didn't work as planned, I thought the 10, 14, and 15 were good insurance balls. Here, I should have used soft outside draw to hold for the 15 next, but because I left the grouping of balls up table, there are many options to get out here. I decided to come back for the 15 now, with the 10 as a backup, since I don't want to risk saving the 15 for last with the 3 limiting access. Here's a nice position play off the rail, right into the line of the 8, making the finish easy. Now let's look at a couple of bar box runouts, which are often more interesting due to the extra clutter on the smaller table. A good break, pocketing balls, and spreading the remaining balls helps a lot. Again, I use saws with every side spin shot to get an accurate line of aim. Left side spin helps me keep the cue ball clear of the obstacles. I bump into the 1 on purpose to hold for a shot at the 14. Here, I use a touch of right spin, but I should have just used center ball to leave an angle on the 10 to head up for the 8 with an easy roll shot. Instead, I need to draw straight back, but it isn't a problem, although I almost make it one. This start is almost just like the last game, where I again roll the ball with outside spin to clear the obstacles while controlling the cue ball. Here, I should have cleared the 2-5-3 grouping first, before heading up table for the 1-6-8. Instead, I decided to clear the 1 and 6 first. As you can probably tell, this table is very fast, and I overran this a bit and don't have an easy shot. Instead of attempting a tough 3-2 combo or a testy jump shot, I decided to elevate and swerve around the 3. That was a good shot, but the out is still difficult. I could have attempted to draw back a little to then draw straight back off the 5, but I didn't want to risk hooking myself behind the 14, and I didn't want to risk scratching in the side or getting hooked behind the 10 on the next draw shot. Instead, I decided to just roll the 3 in and carom off to 13 with draw to go up table for the 8. I didn't hit the 13 as squarely as I thought I would, or I didn't have enough backspin, causing the hit on the 14, but I still got close to the shape I wanted. Sometimes you just need to grind it out for the win. Again, I have many more videos dealing with 8-ball break strategies, pattern play principles, 8-ball runout strategy, and runout examples. Please take advantage of all these free resources available at the links below in the video description or pinned comment. And if you really want to learn everything there is to know about this wonderful game of 8-ball, check out the Video Encyclopedia of 8-ball, or VEEB, which covers everything in great detail in a structured and organized way. VEEB can be streamed or downloaded, and it is also available in physical DVD format. Good luck with your game from Dr. Dave.